Hello friends, it's me Vivian from ThePaperLetterBlog, also known as the Chatty Penpal channel, and today I'm going to show you how I make these two adorable mini pocket letters and also how I fill them with goodies, because we can always use some more inspiration for that. Now, in order to make the mini pocket letters, I'm just using a playing card sleeve. These are often used for Pokemon cards or baseball cards or stuff like that. And I am going to be cutting that into 3 smaller pockets. If you do not have these these playing card sleeves, you can also make a paper version, which I briefly showed just in the screen. I have a tutorial for that up on Patreon, so you do need to be a member to get access to that. But we were doing a pocket letter challenge over on my Patreon craft club, and we also did a matching swap where we exchanged mini pocket letters, which was honestly the most fun I've had in a while making mini projects. So what I did first is I of course cut 2 smaller 3x1 I guess pocket sleeves, and then I found 6 pieces of paper that I wanted to be the cards that go inside of those sleeves. And then how I decorate them, at least at first, is not in the sleeves. First of all, this just works so much easier, and second of all, you do not have the reflection of the plastic sleeves on the camera. So I started out by adding some larger pieces. I already knew that I wanted to do a shaker for both of the pocket letters, because these are going to 2 different people, so then it doesn't really matter if there's similar elements in each of them. I honestly do not remember why I made 2 at the same time. I think I started with the idea to make 1 because of the Patreon swap that we did. So I knew I had to make 1, and I think I just liked too many papers, so I decided to make 2 simultaneously. This is not something I do very often, work on projects literally at the same time. Like, I have 700 unfinished projects that I'm currently somewhat working on, but I never actually make 2 of the same at the same time, or I rarely do. But this was honestly, I might do it again, because sometimes you have those elements that you really want to use, like this rainbow card is really cute, or the one with the coffee cup that is on the right, or the one with the flowers in the teacup that is also in the screen. Sometimes you really want to use a certain piece, but it's just not matching your project. And then if you make 2 at the same time, chances are it will actually fit the other project. So this was really fun. So what I did is I have these little cut aparts from the paper collection that I'm using, and I used an edge distresser to kind of make the edges look like torn paper, which is so nice. You could also use scissors, just run the edges of the scissors alongside your paper. And then I'm gonna struggle here a little bit, because is this the part where I struggle? I was struggling with the florals. I remember that. I made this at the beginning of summer, so it's a little bit fuzzy now, but actually this seems to be going so smoothly. I wish my crafting was always this easy. But what really helps is that I have matching everything. Like, I have the papers and the die cuts, and I have some stickers if I'm not mistaken. So you already know everything is going to be matchy, which definitely helps the process. Yeah, and as you can see, I'm doing many similar things, like the little cut apart that you see in the top left and the bottom right, with a little butterfly peeking out. This would maybe look weird if it was 1 pocket letter, or it could actually be kind of cute and cohesive, but because they are 2 different projects, it doesn't matter anyway. I struggled with this page. Yeah, I do remember that, because as much as I love these busy prints, like the bottom left with the stamps, it's so cute, but everything that you add on top of that is almost too much. So the busier the print, the more difficult I actually find it to decorate on. As you can see, I'm swapping it out 17 times. So unsure what to do. I do like that Happy Mail illustration because of the stamps, but I'm just struggling. I think I end up going with this in some way. Yeah, this is also one of the cut aparts. It's just a little flag, but it makes a great background piece. And then I'm using some foam tape, which adds some dimension to it. And then, as you can see from my clapping in my hands, I finally found something that made it work just a little bit more. I added some vintage or just book page piece, and that made the decorations just stand out a little bit more from that busy background. So I was really happy, and that you can always tell by my clapping of hands. And then I'm adding some more of those book page scraps to the other page, just so that it's more of a cohesive look. I'm not adding foam tape to every piece. I'm not adding it to the middle specifically because that is going to be a shaker, and I do not want the sequins to get stuck behind the foam tape and all of that. I have stopped using tape altogether. Like I do still use it, but I've stopped buying it because I noticed that this foam tape that I'm using on the right, and also the regular double-sided tape that I used to buy from Action, the glue actually dries out rather fast. So if you have a project and you keep it for like a year, then the tape is already letting loose. So I'm nowadays only using just regular kids glue. I found that that works best for me, and also it's more reliable than the double-sided tape because it doesn't dry out, or at least I haven't noticed that just yet. I'm sorry for the top of my head, I was very out of practice here. But yeah, so even when I use this sticky foam tape, I still add more glue just because I know it's gonna let loose otherwise, and we don't want that now, do we? So here I was struggling a little bit because the background of this page already has a flower, so I wanted to add more flowers to it, but I just couldn't decide on which ones I wanted to use. But I do think the entresol is cute. And then just adding some little bits and bobs to it. And then the third page, which will be the third pocket, I guess, will be the shaker for both of them. I'm not adding any decorations to the page itself because I know that that is just going to be messy with the sequins, like they're gonna get stuck on there and stuff like that. So I'm only adding decorations on top of the pocket, which you will see in a second. I do remember when I made these that at a certain point I forgot which page went with which pocket letter, so there is a chance I'm actually gonna accidentally mess that up, but I don't think it really matters. I mean, they all go together anyway. I do have to say, from the blank pages, the one in the middle is my favorite because it's just such a pretty wreath. Always struggle with that word. And then to this left and right pocket I am adding some Nuvo Drops. This is a shimmery minty green, which I think goes real nicely. And then as you can see, I have some light blue as well. And then I let these dry, and that's when I messed up, or wasn't sure which pocket went with which pocket letter. Wow, that's a tongue twister. So we're gonna see in a second if I remembered correctly. But yeah, there's so many cute elements in this pack. I actually bought it as a birthday gift for myself to hopefully motivate me to craft again. I didn't craft a whole lot, I have to admit, but this is definitely one of the best things I've purchased for myself in a while. As you can see, there's all these cute elements like florals and pastel colors and cups and butterflies and mail elements, and it's just kind of perfect. I will, if I remember, I will link it in the description box down below. If I don't remember, do let me know, because I cannot remember the name of it right now, but I can of course look that up if needed. Oh, look how cute that is. Don't worry, I am going to show them up close once I'm done. This is just before drying. And then while that is drying, we're gonna make the shakers. Now, I do have to say that I do no longer buy sequins. I'm also adding in some glass beads because that feels a little bit better. But I'm no longer buying them because they are microplastics and I just feel incredibly guilty about using microplastics. But I do still use them because I don't know, I somehow feel that simply throwing them out is more wasteful than using them. So it is with a heavy heart. But at the same time, it's so pretty. So if anyone has any eco-friendly sequins, I would love to hear about them. But what I do nowadays is I make my own sequins by die cutting paper. I have these tiny shapes and you can make like eco-friendly sequin mixes. But as you can see, I have so many sequins from my shopaholic days that I am I'm probably going to have enough for the upcoming 10 years. But I do have to say, as much as I feel guilty about using them, when this mix is done, it is so pretty. I absolutely love the colors and I think it goes so nicely with the collection. You will see, I'm gonna hold it up in a second, but I actually do think this is so pretty. Look at the pinks and the greens, and I keep saying actually, but I do think this is really nice. So there's some guilt, but at the same time I am a human magpie and I do love all things shiny. So I'm just tipping that into the pockets, and then back in the day I used to melt the edges with what is that thing called again? I forgot what it's called. Fuse tool. Thank you, brain. I used to melt the edges with the fuse tool to close the pocket and keep the sequins in. But in order to, once again, be a little bit more mindful of the things we use, I am this time closing it off with washi tape. Now, there is a chance this will explode in the mail and someone will accidentally receive a glitter bomb from me. But this washi tape, I ended up swapping it out because I didn't like the colors. As you can see, it's different colors now. This washi tape is pretty sticky and I am confident that they stayed closed. I did change the direction. Can we see it, friends? I completely messed it up. I'm seeing it now. These are not the same. This is not what we started with. Oh my gosh, I completely changed up. Oh my gosh, let me see how many I swapped out. Okay, I didn't actually mess it up. I just accidentally put the left one from the top. I put the left one on the right and the other way around. It's not that bad. Okay, I thought it was worse. But to make it a little bit more eco-friendly, I put washi tape on the tops of the pockets instead so that the receiver can peel them off and repurpose the sequin mix so that it doesn't completely go to waste. So it doubles as decoration and as a goodie. I think that makes me feel a little bit less guilty. Speaking about the receivers, as mentioned before, one of these was for a Patreon swap we did. So Craft Club member Sarah from the Netherlands actually received my swap. And the other one went to Mandy in the UK. So as I mentioned before, I didn't want to decorate the pages with the sequins for them not to get stuck, but I am decorating on top of the page. I think that is quite cute. I think, if I remember correctly, that I did not glue these down. I have gone off screen. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think I glued these down because then the pockets can also be repurposed. I think that is what I did, but I am not entirely sure. So maybe double-sided tape, because I know how bad that sticks. So this is the first one. I absolutely love it. You can fold it both ways, and this is my favorite way to send out a pocket letter because you can just make them so much smaller to send out. But if I send them out like this, they are a lot flatter, so that's actually what I ended up doing. So yeah, this is the second one. I like it a lot, and as promised, I'm also going to show you the goodies that I included. So I only swapped the order. The hello card was actually on the right at first, so I didn't mess up as badly as I thought I did. And this one is, I don't know which one is my favorite actually, but I do love that shaker page with the butterflies. I just think it's so cute. And then the You Are a Rainbow. I'm actually going to be doing a second project that comes with my swap, because I didn't want to just send out the pocket letter itself. I actually made something around it, which will be on my channel sometime in the future. So if you want to see that, don't forget to follow me, subscribe, put on your post notifications and all that, because that will be coming soon as well. So you can see how I actually sent out my swap. What I'm adding here are some adorable sticker flakes from Pick Your Mix, which is an Australian sticker shop. I used to be a patron and I have so many of the sticker flakes, so I decided to include some. I'm just making a little stack off screen, but I decided to include some in the pocket for my swap. I also included a lot of Easter, or not Easter ones, but a lot of spring ones, because I sent this out a little bit earlier in the year. Of course, I could have just put the stickers into the pockets themselves, but I decided to wrap it up with a little gift baggie instead. The other items I could or have included in the past in pocket letters are, of course, labels. You can put your letter in there. You can stick so many pretty items in here, such as stickers, stamps, stamped images, book illustration cutouts, and like I'm showing you here, I have some little quotes that I could fit in there perfectly. I have these stamp, how would you call them? Note cards, I suppose. That would go in there really nicely as well. Basically anything that is flat. Tea has been a favorite to send in pocket letters. Dried flowers, wax seals. As long as it doesn't bulk up your project too much, you can actually fit quite a lot in there. Of course, one of the 3 pockets is already taken by the shaker. I did end up adding more, but like I said, there's a second project that also comes with this project, so I will show that in another video. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you did, you know what to do. Leave this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, because there's so much more where that came from, and I will see you when I see you. Bye!